Hello and welcome to Breaking Late, a motorsports podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and with me, as always, birthday boy, JD. How's it going?
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thanks for the birthday wishes there. And all that.
It's also Craig Lowndes' birthday too, so happy birthday, Craig.
Yeah, happy birthday to Craig and my niece as well. We're all on the same day. No, I'm really good, mate. Yeah, we just had a really good weekend down at Hidden Valley. Got to watch some great racing. Bit of argy-bargy in the V8s in the Career Cup there. I'm not sure if anyone told the boys how much the cars they reckon were worth.
Those Porsches were worse than the V8s during the race.
It was getting a bit ridiculous. There was a bit of payback here and there. I really enjoyed the weekend. It was good to see a couple of lap records getting broken and stuff like that. It was
the track generally looked quick this weekend. Yeah,
they were really putting down some quick times. It looked a bit slippery in a few of the sessions, but yet they were somehow managing record times. So they all seem to be struggling for rear end grip, and I don't think any of the teams really fixed that problem by the end of the weekend. But
no, and I don't think any of the teams really expected Nissan to come out of the blocks just flying. They were quick.
They were quick in practice as well as look. They took fastest time in practice one.
Yeah, and Rick Kelly was like just off Jamie Whincup in practice too as well.
Yeah, it was really impressive. A really good showing from them, and it's starting to be more common with them actually. They were pretty quick Winton as well, and I'm looking forward to it. Someone's got to take it to Red Bull and that, and if we can have 3 or 4 top teams, it's going to make for some really tight racing. What do you think of the weekend, Michael?
The weekend as a whole was just great. I was a little surprised to find out the numbers were slightly down on last year as visitors to the track. But yeah, it was just so good to get down there, actually be at a round, witnessing everything. We were there for the 3 days. We found a really nice spot up on top of the hill, watched the track. It was it's a shame it's over. It seemed like it takes forever to get here, and then we had a meet and greet with the drivers on the Wednesday, and that was really good. And I was like so excited, and they're like, only a couple of days to go. And next thing you know, it's Sunday night and we're heading home on the bus and it's done. We got to wait another 12 months.
Don't make it sound too depressing.
No, I'm upset.
It's a weekend I look forward to every year, and just hearing that backfire on gear change and the ignition cut gets my heart pumping. So every year I look forward to it, and I really enjoyed this weekend again. It was good to see some new people up in the top 10 and stuff like that. And everyone was pushing each other. Shane looked almost, I wouldn't say untouchable, if he hadn't have made that mistake, but I reckon he would have won both the races.
Shane was probably the more dominant driver of the weekend.
Yeah, he just seemed to be able to find that 10th. Well, not even a 10th, because they were very, very close in the shootout and qualifying. But the 100th of a second that counted, he seemed to be able to find it, and when no one else could. It was pretty impressive by him. I think this could be a turning point for him. He's been struggling for that back, the backing his pace up, and it's really good. Yeah,
we come out and said that he's now actually feeling more comfortable in the car.
Yeah, that was one of the things at the session that we went to, and thank you very much to the Red Bull drivers and the media crew and all that. But yeah, some of the questions we were asking him and stuff like that, it seems like they've moved forward a bit with the car at their test day, and Shane definitely seems to be happy. Maybe they all said they moved forward, so it suited all of them.
On the Wednesday, Jamie was very hush on what he thought the progress they could make.
Yeah, I think he was just a little bit guided. He didn't want to
give too much away.
He didn't want to give too much away. He didn't want to make any false impressions that we're going to dominate this weekend or whatnot. All of them were very quick. Lowndes and Jamie and Shane.
Yep.
The other Triple 8 car come away from the weekend not very well, but thoughts are out there with Lee, and I hope he gets better soon. He's got a long road ahead of him, and just chin up, mate.
Yeah, that was a big impact. That was scary to watch.
It's just the angle of attack when he come into that wall. You can just see it by the damage on the car. It was a pretty heavy hit.
Apparently that car's repairable.
Yeah, I can believe that. A lot of the bars are cut. You can cut them out and re-weld. It didn't bend the chassis rails or anything like that. So it was a big hit. I'm still questioning how
he got unloaded.
Well, no, how he got unloaded. It didn't seem to be caught on camera, and I'm not sure what happened there. I haven't seen any footage.
That Jason Bright unloaded him.
Yeah.
You can kind of see a little bit in the footage. If I can find any footage of it, I will link it in the show notes. But yeah, I don't think anyone's really at blame for that. It's a track
V8s would have penalised someone if there was someone at blame, because it was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
Continue.
But yeah, it's just something that does happen on this track. You just have everyone flying down into turn one, and you've trying to got 22 cars going around one corner, and it just doesn't always work.
Yeah, and that next section, there's two big crashes in that. It sort of got lost in the moment. I actually think Lee got a little bit forgotten to begin with. They were too focused on Fabian, and Fabian and Mostert,
as well as Moffat was slightly there, but he escaped pretty.
Yeah, he got away with it. That was another crash that could have been avoided. That everyone's just going for that track position at the start of the race. That everyone's got to do it. It's going to set the rest of your race up. If you get pinged behind another 3 cars or whatever, you're not going to be able to, you're going to have to fight for ages to get past those cars. So, or do some tricky pit stop work or whatnot. Where if you can make those places at the start, but I still just think Mostert probably should have pulled out. He was sort of at the B pillar as he come into that section. He pushed it where, even it was going to be hard enough for Fabian and Moffat. Fair enough, Mostert probably could not see that Moffat was on the other side.
I don't think Moffat knew Mostert was on the other side, and I don't think Mostert knew Moffat was on the other side. I just think Fabian knew both those guys were on either side of him, and it was going to end badly.
Well, Michael and I have both driven the track and lap sprint and on other days and stuff like that. That section, it's flat out.
It's fast.
You're pinged. You're just basically floating the car through there. You do have to use all the road. Mm-hmm. Fair enough, these boys have got a lot more grip than us, and they're better drivers, and they're more talented in every way. But they still have to get it through there. And it's not going to work. 3-car wide, it was never, ever going to work. It was always going to end in tears. And, it finished a couple of races. So,
but we'll jump to that a little bit later. Let's look towards
qualifying
on the Saturday.
What are your thoughts, mate? There's a few that struggled that maybe they thought they would get something more out of qualifying. And actually, the whole weekend up here, there's one team that made some pretty big changes.
We can stop beating around the bush for that. That's HRT. Look, Tander did really bad in qualifying 1, down 25th. And James Courtney was a little bit further up there in 17th. But those guys, they need to make this work.
I don't know what's going on there. It's amazing that Davey Reynolds seems to be able to out-qualify them now.
Yeah, well, this is 2 races in a row now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at Winton at the second race there, he out-qualified them at 2 in a 3-year-old car with a bunch of bits that they've taken off another car.
Yeah, well,
you found a lot of good information out from Betty on Saturday night when you went down there and had a quick chat.
Yeah, I did. I had a chat with Betty down in the pits. She was really happy with the progress that they're making on the car. She actually surprised me a little bit when she referred to the car as the H63.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. What was she talking about there, mate?
More of the fact that they've transferred a lot of the parts over that they've designed for the Mercedes onto the Commodore that they're racing with. Try to get out of him, like, so you're bringing back the Mercedes in 2018, or, she wouldn't let up on, she wouldn't say anything, she wouldn't set it in concrete. She's not going to commit to anything, and especially, just to talking to a random person in the pit, she's not going to be like, oh yes, in 2018, we're definitely going to be racing Mercedes. But, no, the stuff that we were talking about was really good, and, Betty, thank you for talking to us. It was...
it's something I've got to give Betty. If any of her friends ever listen to this, give her a shout out for us, because she's always made it. Ever since she first come to Darwin, we went and talked to her in the pits. The first weekend she was here.
I even made comment to that. Talking to her, I said to her, there's no way you're going to remember this, but I actually come down and was speaking to you after your first year up here, where Mara Engel got in the top 10.
Yeah, and she just makes herself. She's so friendly, and she makes herself available. She's not one of those team bosses that sort of puts herself above everyone and doesn't want the fans to talk to them. Just wants their drivers to be the fan people, and doesn't want to be involved in anything. Just wants to work behind the scenes. Roland Dane's one of those sort of team bosses. He I wouldn't say he doesn't want fans to talk to him at all, but he's not there for fans. He's there to run a business. He's very good at it, obviously, because they've won quite a few championships in not many years of that he's been running the business. But all in all, he does he's not available like Betty is. Betty puts herself out there, and she's happy to talk to you. You watch her face when you come up and say, "Hey, Betty, congratulations on making another top 10." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." It's amazing. It's a real good attribute, and keep that chin up and keep pushing forward. And we're looking forward to celebrating some wins with you in the future.
Back to qualifying, there was actually someone that surprised me.
Yeah, who was
for
that,
not the best results in 15th. Scotty McLaughlin. He struggled a bit.
Yeah, I thought the Volvos would be quick here too, but it just didn't suit their car enough, and they're looking forward to the tracks that are going to start suiting their car a little bit more. It's a bit of a shame. I was hoping for Scotty to do well. He did a bit better last year up here, so...
Yeah, it's just this didn't make it work, but
I think this year is just so tight. He was a lot better on Sunday, but this year is so tight.
Oh, it is. It's like, if you go down the whole field, I think it's separated by 1.1 seconds or something.
Yeah, so Scotty's in 15th, and he's 0.48 off pole.
You don't get that.
It's not even half
categories.
A second. Yeah, it's not even half a second. He's 15th.
Cars that did really well this weekend, Nissans.
Yeah, wow. Backing it up, mate. They're just so good.
They were just on the ball, like...
Was there 3? There's 3 in the top 10 shootout on Sunday.
Yes.
That's crazy. I think that's got to be a first. I don't think they've ever had 3 in the top 10 shootout. Maybe they normally had 1 in the top 10 shootout.
And, like...
Max.
Todd pulled a great lap on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. I was really impressed with Todd's effort. It's probably only last episode that me and Michael were probably going, I think Todd has become quite a good team manager, and maybe it's time to hang up the reins and really focus and push forward with the team.
Must have heard us, and he's
just
the game
gone,
and just...
Screw you guys. What do you know what you're talking about? You bullshit artists. Here we go. I'm going to push forward here. Showed up Rick and every other Nissan driver as well. He absolutely just pulled a lap out, 2 laps out, and it did a really, really good job.
But yeah, so rounding out qualifying, the top 10 on the Saturday, you had Shane van Gisbergen, followed by Michael Caruso, and just followed. Like, they were so close.
Michael Caruso... Oh, sorry, start with Shane. Lap record. That was the lap record he set in that lap.
106.0922.
Yep, absolutely smashing lap. And then here comes Michael Caruso. He was a lap record as well. Like, he just couldn't quite pip Shane. So, unfortunately for him, he did another awesome lap. He's 0.08 off Shane's time. So, there was absolutely nothing in it.
Then you had Will Davison in 3rd.
Yeah, Will, he's obviously started to work with his engineer a lot better now, and they started to find pace in that car.
Understanding the car a lot more, and I think he's just comfortable now.
Yeah, it's starting to work really well for him. So, good stuff, mate. Good to see you back up the front.
Yeah, Chaz Mostert and Mark Winterbottom, those... Well, they weren't the only Fords. You had Scotty down in 9th as well, but that was solid results for the Saturday.
They were good results. Chaz starting to pull out his great qualifying skills again.
Yeah, he's starting to look like
he's starting to get back to his old stuff. Like, okay,
really
we shouldn't be celebrating.
We're saying that Chaz Mostert's getting back to his old stuff, where he's only
he's
a couple of years in the category.
Yeah, that poor bloke's like 25 or something. No, he's just, and it wasn't the most cracking lap in the world, but he, for 4th,
he got the job done.
But he still outqualified all the other Fords, every one of his teammates, which is what you got to look for, and he did a great job. So good on him. Mark Winterbottom did a nice lap as well. It wasn't too far off Chaz, and Jamie Whincup was not far off them either. It was quite a tight top 10, really.
Yeah, it really was. And then you had Craig Lowndes behind Jamie Whincup. Tim Slade continuing on the good form that he had from Winton. Yeah,
I was hoping to see them slightly higher up the field, but they obviously couldn't get the setup quite right.
Then, we had Scotty Pye down 9th, and then Rick Kelly, who I thought he would be the top Nissan driver because he was just showing the form during practice.
Yeah,
he had the pace in 10th, but still only 0.35 of a second off.
Yep.
The qualifying times these guys are doing, there's nothing in it separating the whole field. Well, the race on Saturday, JD, that was good. It
was very good.
Like Caruso,
you put $20 on the Nissan to win.
I did. Thank you, Crown Bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crown Bet were handing out $20 bonus bet cards throughout the weekend, and you could place bets on them. Yeah, no, I did all right.
You did do well, mate. You did very well. It's a pretty impressive weekend. I think you come away with about nearly $500 worth of free bet dollars.
Free bets, and now I got $500. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, not bad.
Gamble responsibly, everyone. But within the race, Caruso, just a perfect race.
Yeah, he drove a good race.
You can't take anything away from him. This is a genuine Nissan win.
It was a genuine Nissan win. I think Shane had the pace to beat him in race pace, but I don't know what he was doing. I thought Caruso did balk him, and I've watched it a few times now, and I can't pick it. Shane got a better launch, but he needed to pull out of the throttle. It's something he had to do. Like I know it would have screwed him up down the straight, but he just needs to do. He knows what he had to do, but he didn't do it.
Well, he come out and has admitted that was his fault. He owned up to it.
He made a big apology about it and whatnot.
Like,
didn't mean to let the team down, whatnot.
Yeah, it is something that would have definitely let the team down. Well, they were in a position to win that race.
Yeah. But good on Nissan. You can't take it away from him. He did nothing wrong, and he comes smashing home with a solid win, and good on him.
And Jamie Whincup's continuing his good form on the Saturday.
Oh, he is, isn't he? He knows how to. This is how you win championships. You just keep on plugging away up the top there, in the top of the leaderboard, and keep putting points away while your rivals are sort of down, like Mark Winterbottom, who was the championship leader coming into this event.
Well, and then you had Chaz Mostert did pretty good in to come home third on the Saturday.
Yeah, so Chaz did a good job up in third there. It's really good to see him bouncing back. I actually didn't bank on him to finish that far up the podium, but he did a really good job, and you can't take it away from him. Will comes home in fourth. Another solid effort from them. That team's starting to really click. He's working really well there. They got some good race pace, and they qualified well as well.
And then you got the two DJR Team Penske guys who, like Saturday, they did really well. Both of them, Scott Pye up 4 positions and Fabian up 5. They would be happy with that result. Like they had just good pace.
Yeah. I'd say they've done a great job. Well, that's a solid effort to come that far up the field. Put a shout out there to Jamie Whincup too. He come forward 4 paces as well. He did. That was really good. Some of those people did benefit from a certain lad named Craig Lowndes, who got spun around turn 5. Yeah, he got spun around turn 5, and that pretty much put him on a damage limitation track after that.
But for some, like Craig, at the end of lap, I can't remember what lap it was, the start of the race.
Yeah, the start of the race.
Craig was last. He got spun. He was last. He drove up. He finished 11th.
So Craig did a great job. Once they pitted him, got him in clean air and all that, he managed to push forward quite a few places and come home a really solid 11th. I was really impressed with that. From coming from the back after his spin to 11th, it's really, really good effort.
Oh, and he was actually really positive after the race as well. Like, for someone that's got spun around, worked their way up, he was
I think he had a ball, eh? I honestly think he had a ball. He was just like, oh, well, gave me some passing and some tactical practice. I didn't want to have to do it the hard way, but I got back up nearly into the top 10, which is really impressive. A really disappointing one was also Shane.
Shane, he has suffered from that drive-through.
That drive-through killed his race.
Because that was
he lost 15 places
he
and finished in 16th. So that was a bad one. So, in qualifying, Michael, Craig Lowndes come away with the fastest lap out of qualifying before the shootout. Lap record. Again. 2 days in a row, the 888 teams managed to break the lap record. And it wasn't by a lot.
No, it wasn't by a lot. They're getting that quick around this track now. I don't know how much quicker they're really going to get.
They've got to break a 105.
You reckon?
They got to. They're like 2.5 hundredths off.
Yeah, they will. They will crack it eventually.
Yeah, so, but yeah, pretty amazing lap. There was some. Rick Kelly was looking really strong. Chaz again, in top 3. Wow, that's really good.
Slade was up there on Sunday.
He was. They must have found something overnight in the car and fixed that up. And it's another really close top 10. There's 3 tenths in it, and you were 10th. Todd Kelly there.
Scotty bounced back from the qualifying 15th on the Saturday to
They had
up
a lot
into
more
6th.
pace. They had a lot more pace on the Sunday. It was a really good qualifying session. People that were probably a little bit disappointed were probably Will Davison,
Scotty Pye.
Yep. Fabian Coulthard, he was a fair way off Pye too, so he probably won't be happy with that. Now, have you noticed that Courtney seems to be pretty consistently outdoing Tander lately?
I have noticed that.
Yeah, it's been something really
I'm
interesting.
leaning toward, I think, out of those two pairings, James Courtney, I think, is the stronger driver now.
Yeah. I always thought Tander was slightly stronger. He's a very smart guy. He can pretty much engineer his own car. They've just got to get some car pace back in that team, but it's getting beyond a joke. What were they saying on the weekend? V8s, if you compare it to Formula One, when Ferrari's winning, Formula One's strong. HRT's winning, V8 supercars is strong. So,
they're a major draw card to people into it. Like, you get the die-hard Holden fans that bleed red. Everyone bleeds red. But, if it's not a Holden, don't even talk to them about it. And it's really hard. Like, I was talking to my old man at the track, and he goes, when we used to come down here when you were a kid, everything was HRT. Everyone was wearing red shirts. They had the biggest tent set up, the merchandise.
I remember the first year V8's come to town. I waited nearly an hour to get Craig Lowndes' signature. But it was crazy. Like, people from South here that listen to the show are going to be very jealous. You can pretty much get all their signatures in Darwin fairly quickly. If anyone's actually looking for a round to come to, it's a very good round. It's only $90 a ticket, which gets you 3 days.
And into the pits as well.
And it gets you in the pits. And also, you can walk 75% of our track, and you can just view it straight with your normal ticket. It's amazing. There's some pretty good viewing spots. Every year where we sit, we get different interstate people sitting next to us, and they all love it. So if you're looking for a round to do,
one of the only local groups on the hill.
We are. If you're looking for a place to come to Darwin. Enjoy it.
Come sit at Shenanigans Hill and join us.
Yeah,
it's good fun. Back to the qualifying though. We keep getting off topic here. So anyway, we'll get to the top 10 qualifiers on Saturday that qualified for the shootout. Craig Lowndes, Rick Kelly, Chaz Mostert, Tim Slade, Michael Caruso, Scott McLaughlin, Shane Van Gisbergen, Mark Winterbottom, Jamie Whincup, and Todd Kelly. I think the big thing to take away from that is the 3 Nissans.
Oh, massive achievement. Good stuff from Nissan. Absolutely. The Kelly boys have really pulled something out of the hat there. And I honestly think, watch this space, I think this is going to become more consistent.
Going into the shootout, we're on a bit of a high with Lowndesy qualifying first at the moment.
I have my finger. It's no secret. I won't lie to anyone here. He's been my favourite driver ever since I've started watching V8 supercars pretty much. So it was a great thing for my birthday weekend, his birthday weekend. It was a great thing for him to be up there. Fastest going into the shootout. I don't think it paid him any dividends, but I think the track was slightly cooler at the start of the shootout, which sort of helped the people that were going out that qualified a little bit slower. But you can't take anything away from any of them. They all punched in some amazing laps. The few people got, just they were suffering from the lack of grip. They didn't have enough time to get some tyre temp and whatnot.
Well, coming home in 10th in the shootout was Jamie Whincup, but he stuffed it. He stuffed that lap.
He binned it. He had a massive lose coming through the last sector, and he lost.
We slid in onto the straight.
Yeah, they reckon he lost a second on the one corner pretty much.
Michael Caruso, who was going for the Sky City. It's not the Sky City Triple Crown anymore, is it?
No, it is not.
Crown Bet Darwin
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. Is the Triple Crown something that...
It's never been won.
No one's ever won it. 19
years, never been won.
And I doubt anyone outside of that goes to Hidden Valley knows of it because never hear it on TV.
I wonder. Maybe write into us.
I don't know if they win anything.
There's a trophy, but I don't know if there's a cash reward or whatnot. I think it should be. If it hasn't gone on for nearly 20 years, I reckon it should be a couple $100,000 for the driver that gets it.
So if you don't know, the Triple Crown is you win Saturday race, you get the top 10 shootout, like you come first in the top 10 shootout, and then you win the Sunday race, which is something impressive. I don't think they do at other tracks.
I don't think there is anything. Since V8's dropped their round win and everything a few years ago, I don't think there's many tracks that run something like this. I think it was a very Darwin thing. And it's Todd Kelly, what an amazing job he did. He was first to go out, qualified 10th, and we went, ooh, I don't know if that's going to be good enough.
Yeah,
and then
that lap
next person
held.
come out, and then next person come out, and then next person come out. I'm going,
Todd's still up there. Like,
ooh, what do we got going on here? This is going to be amazing.
full credit to Todd. That was a great lap. But the rest of it was just guys just were up and down a little bit. Some of them were up in some sections. Most of them, once Shane came out, were down the whole time.
Yeah, well, you just got to look at the top four. Shows you how close the qualifying's getting now. That's not even a tenth of a second.
Yep.
900ths and you're fourth. So all those boys could have been, the top four, all of them could have been on pole, but Shane managed to just get that
little
tiny
bit extra
little bit.
needed.
Yep.
The Sunday race, JD.
Yes, mate.
How'd you find it?
Well, what about that safety car at the start there? Talk about hectic pit lane.
Oh, we've got a pretty wide pit lane up here.
Yeah, well, it wasn't wide enough. Just ask
Shane.
Hey,
Oh, did he push that car out of the way? And that
Will
was
Davison,
all fine? It's behind the rear wheel. You can do that.
Yeah, Will Davison got a little bit of Morse code on the rear bumper. Please move forward.
That would have been a good time to have a corporate ticket above the pits.
Whoa, it was hectic. There was a few things that actually I think got missed as well. Someone drove over a wheel.
Didn't know that. Didn't pick that up.
Yeah, neither. I don't think the TV crews picked that up either. My wife actually picked that up and sent it through to me as a text as I was watching the race from down the track because we've got a 3-month-old baby. So she went home on the Sunday to get out of the heat. But yeah, she sent through. Did you see that person drive over that wheel? I'm like, no.
There was they had the whole field going through that pit. Like
Everyone was double
didn't
stacking.
care. It's just get it in.
What about Timmy Slade coming home second?
That was a great result. Like they managed to jump Lowndes in the second pit stop.
Yeah.
Come through.
We didn't know. When we were watching the race live down at the track, it looked like Lowndes had second in the bag.
Mm.
And then they went through and did their interview with Brad Jones. He's like, I don't know what their pace is, how much fuel they had at that stop, but we think we're going to drop somewhere in here. And then bang, he come out and they're right in the middle of them.
Yeah, no, it was
impressive.
Good result for Slady. Come home
It was
second.
what we were calling for after the last round as well. We were really
Something
thought
to
they
follow
would be.
it up.
Yeah, we thought they were going to be quick here, and the Saturday race was a bit of a letdown for them. But the Sunday race, they really nailed it. It was good work.
Will Davison did really well too to jump up into fourth.
Yep, definitely. Probably my pick of the top 10, but surprising and everything. I got a couple out of there, but the biggest one would be James Courtney.
That lap 1 incident helped him a lot. He
It
jumped
did,
a
but
lot
he
in the
had
pits,
genuine
but
pace.
once he got up into the top 10, he looked like he belonged there.
He did. He come up 15 places from where he started to finish 5th. That's impressive.
They have to
it's
be
hard.
happy with that.
Yeah, that's hard to do. So that was really, really impressive. And the other one was James Moffat in 10th. He come up 7 places, and he did a really good job. And God, you can't go past Davey Reynolds either. He did another good job as well in 9th. So there's some really impressive stuff there.
Someone that is probably going home and just forgetting about the weekend. Frosty. Frosty melted in Darwin.
It did. It helped. It hurt his championship. Where did he end up?
20th.
Down 17 places. So that helped a lot of those people that were trying to gain some places.
Well, he's one of the bottle-os that does drive-throughs.
Yeah, drives through, and then again.
Yep, does a couple of drive-throughs. No, well, that incident, what's your take on the Mark Winterbottom, Todd Kelly?
Yeah, there wasn't much in it. He was moving around all over the place, coming down the straight. Honestly, it was a silly mistake. He's lucky it didn't cost them both their races.
Oh, it was high speed.
It was high speed, 260,
the risk of sounding like
270
Scafey.
Ks.
That is fast.
Yeah, car control.
Oh, car control moment of this round was Todd Kelly.
Wow. Yeah, he did a great job. I don't know how he did that.
He almost kept it on the track. I can't believe that.
He was in there all locked up. He like full
all
lock.
Crossed up, still plucking gears to get it turned around that corner.
He's still got a bit of magic left in him, that old Todd Kelly. Good on him, mate. I think it was a silly mistake. Maybe he was hot and just bothered. They were coming into the braking area and he was still darting all over the back of Todd, trying to find which side he was going to go for. He obviously didn't want to go around the outside.
You're never going to go around the outside.
No, not in turn one. It's a hard corner. Unless you're right around the outside, then you might be able to. But if you're at the B pillar, you're not going around the outside. Yeah, it's just misjudgment. And
the Pro Drive guys just didn't have a good round on Sunday. Sorry.
No, Ford in general had a absolute shocker.
We'll quickly go back to the crown bet. I was so close to putting $20 on Chris Pither being the top finishing Ford.
Yeah, that would have paid. It would have paid a lot. Instead, we put him that he might make it in the top 6, which pigs can fly sometimes, but he didn't make it. He got 11th, which was a bit of a shame. He still come up 13 places, which is an impressive effort.
It is a good move.
But when we start looking for all the other Fords, where are they? I can't see them.
20th is the first Ford apart from Chris Pither.
Yeah.
20th, 22nd, 23rd, and then 2 DNFs.
It's a shocker.
DJR Team Penske.
Yeah.
They, after the strong performance on the Saturday, to have both cars out within a few laps of each other.
Yeah, it was a bad race Sunday for them. It was really bad, and we can't go past poor old Lee as well. He looked like he got shafted. I haven't seen the footage well enough, but he looked like he got shafted, and then it's just unfortunate. A lot of people were asking why there's not a tyre wall there. Look, we've had tyre walls there in the past.
The concrete wall is new. I think this is 2 years or a year old.
The tyre wall is honestly more dangerous than the concrete wall.
Well, the tyre wall will grip and throw them back out.
Yeah, well, if you look back through past races in Darwin, when you hit that tyre wall, it launches you straight back into the middle of the track, and you end up getting cleaned up by several other cars in a damaged crash cell. Our thoughts are with Lee. Like, I hope he gets better soon. And
we got released from hospital yesterday.
He got
cleared to fly down to
his
Melbourne.
Hospital that's in his near his home. Yeah, it was just a shocking crash. He just come into the wall at the wrong angle, and it just it was not nice to watch. It really wasn't nice to watch.
There's one thing, JD, that I would like to have a quick discussion about.
Yeah, what's that, mate?
The Mercedes E-Cell. Or the Erebus E-Cell.
Yes. Well, I have questions of how Lee's pelvis was broken, to be honest. I would have thought his race seat should have secured him enough. I'm not sure how that can happen unless something broke in the car, or I don't know. I've never seen it. I haven't seen any footage of inside the car or when the car crashed or whatnot. We've only seen what they played on TV, which is, it doesn't show you much. Honestly, I think it's silly that we're not already starting to move as the whole field across to these E-cells. If it can save drivers' injuries, why are we not doing it? Yeah.
This is something I actually spoke to Betty about on the Saturday. I said to her, I'm like, you guys have implemented this E-cell. Are you guys pushing for it to be introduced? She says she's put that proposal forward. That's as far as it's gone. Like, there's still a lot of people saying, oh, we don't need it. This is now 2 big incidences within 12 months where drivers had leg injuries from crashes.
Poor Chaz is still making a recovery, I think, really. Like, physically, I'm sure he's 95% now. But mentally, the injury and everything he had to go through and the recovery he's had to come along, I don't think you can fully recover from that. It changes you as a person.
Chaz had a huge hit.
Yeah, he had a huge hit, and it's probably not really in comparison to Lee's hit, but I just think if that can save someone's life one day, or not even life, just their mobility, their legs and stuff like that, do we have to wait for someone to actually
lose
completely
legs
shatter their legs or something before we decide, well,
we need
maybe
to do something
that
about
was a good idea. Yeah.
I think we should just test the E-cells. Because they're built around the legs. They're designed to protect the legs. This is something that Erebus had to implement for them to go racing with the Mercedes at the start.
Yep.
This is a Mercedes thing that they do in all their race cars. What if we can move it across? It already fits in the Commodore. It'll fit across all of them.
Yeah.
Why don't we put them in the cars?
So, Michael,
Yes.
it's one of the things I look forward to from a Craig Lowndes or a Shane Van Gisbergen victory lap.
Oh.
You cracked on here. What do you think of his turn 6 skid?
For a drifter, he should know better.
He should. He nearly got bogged on a train that we have at our track.
I said it to you on the last lap when after Shane passed us just driving onto the straight. I was like, oh, at least we're going to get a good skid.
Yeah. Good on him. He gives it everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's easy to do there.
It is.
I'm
not saying I've done it, but it
so
is easy
lucky to not get stuck. That's a big drain.
I got to give it to him. He's committed. He knew he was going around. And did he hop out of the throttle?
Nope.
Nope. We're committed. We're going for this. Everything. All or nothing. Everything. Flat out.
Yeah, I think by the time he got past us on the track, he sort of eased off a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was in a bit of shock. I think he felt that he maybe was about to get stuck. But anyway,
That was a good skid.
It was a good skid. And now, what do you want to talk about, mate?
V8 Supercars and the Northern Territory government made an announcement.
Yeah,
down
pretty
the
big
track.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, very big. First off, they've agreed until 2030.
Yeah, well, now we have the second longest contract with V8 Supercars to keep them coming back to the territory. I'm all pumped for that because I'll be at every one of those events. I've been at everyone so far.
And I'll stay there till 2030.
Yeah.
The next big one, night racing. They're going to light the track.
That's amazing, isn't it?
This is something they've been talking about for years.
Yeah, I reckon 5 years. At least 5 years, I reckon.
I thought it was, it's a pipe dream. And to be honest, I'm still a little, I want to see them do it first.
Yeah, it is an election promise, and we all know how they work. You've got to win an election.
But if it does go ahead, I think it will be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am absolutely. Like I've been to Singapore Grand Prix, and it's an amazing event. Under lights, I don't think we're going to have that caliber of lighting. They've got pretty much the world standard of it's daylight there, but I'm absolutely looking forward to it, and I think it's going to bring more Southerners and overseas even people to Darwin to watch this event because it's going to be not a Bathurst or a Clipsal, but it's definitely going to be a big event of the year. Yeah,
it is. It's marketable.
Oh, very, and
which is something that we need.
The weather, the time of year they hold V8s up here is normally pretty smack bang on our best weather of the year. It's
going to be funny though, because all the locals will be cold. Might get to 16,
17 at night. Yeah. If they hold it in June, that's very true.
We could actually buy the jumpers that they bring up here. It's always funny. They sell the jacket. I know because it's winter down there, so they bring up the
generic,
generic gear. Like they're not going to make lightweight singlets and stuff like that. They bring up these big jumpers and they never sell. No one buys the big jackets. They might in 2018 when it cracks under 20. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So if you think, let us know what you think night racing is going to be. Would this make you come to Darwin to watch the race under lights? Yeah.
Is this something that you think is going to be a good draw card or not? Just send it through to our Facebook or our email. What's our email, Michael?
breakinglate@gmail.com. So, JD, the V8s weren't the only motorsports going on this weekend.
Oh, it was too busy this weekend.
It
honestly,
was a big weekend.
We stretched ourselves thin and we tried to watch as much as the Formula One as we could, but by the time we were finished at the track every night, it was quite late.
It was late.
I'll be honest, I fell asleep on the couch on Saturday night trying to watch qualifying.
The Baku track finally had a chance to see it. What's your thoughts on the track now you saw the cars go around it?
I like it, but I don't like it. It's hard for me. I think they need a decent sized chicane
down that straight.
just before the pits on the straight. Like, I don't, they've sort of got that little wiggle in it. Sort of, what is it, 19 or 20?
19, 20.
Yeah, 18, 19, or 17, 18, 19, 20. They need something more decent in there. It's
something
just
like
too long.
they do at, say, Surfers Paradise at the Gold Coast. Where
Yeah, but I don't think Surfers Paradise needs it as much as there. It is out of control. We're looking at one of the,
they're breaking records. Like, was it the Williams got 378 Ks or something stupid.
Yeah, well, those slippery cars there, like Williams, they're very efficient, I think the word is that they use. Efficient with their downforce, so that they're very quick in a straight line. Efficient also means you don't make much downforce, which hurts them at places like Monaco. It's just out of control. I think it's just too long. Honestly, what's it like 2K long straight?
2K straight.
That's
too long. Too long.
K and a half max.
Chuck some chicanes in there. Qualifying the Formula One.
Yeah, where do you start with qualifying, mate? It was crazy.
I have to take your word for it.
Lewis Hamilton, he wasn't there.
I did see him hit the wall.
Well, it's not just the wall. He was locking brakes up left, right, and centre. He just struggled like you wouldn't believe. I thought, what's going on here? You've been fastest in practice. Why are we panicking here? Just bang out a good lap and get it done. Baku is one of those tracks. It's a bit like Monaco, where when other people spear off a escape zone, it makes yellow, and then people are doing that all around the track. So it's very hard to nail a good lap because you're going to miss all these yellow zones. And I think he got caught up a couple of times by that, but he was just shaking. It was just unbelievable. I could not believe it. And then he capped it off in Q3 with clapping the wall. Nico did a great job.
He did. Nico,
class of the field, really. He didn't look stressed at all in qualifying.
It was his weekend.
It was. And he's happy.
Yeah, I did hear the radio message after he won the race, and
I think it's taken Monaco and Canada, because he seems happy when he wins, but proper happy now. He was very, very happy about this win. I think it's one of those tracks. It's a real tester on the drivers.
Sergio Perez got a really good lap time in Q3.
He did.
He was up there.
He had a great weekend in general, but
yeah, he did.
Second podium in 3 races.
He's
doing really well. He's jumping up and down in front of Ferrari, going, "Pick me, pick me." He's done a really good job, and it's been impressive. I've really enjoyed watching him go from strength to strength lately. He looks confident now.
Daniel Ricciardo did a pretty good lap to come in third. He definitely beat Max. I don't know if Max had any issues in Q3.
No, I don't think there was too many issues for Max. Daniel just pulled out another one of those laps.
So yeah, we'll just quickly round out the top 10. You had Nico Rosberg, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, Felipe Massa, Danny Kvyat, Valtteri Bottas, Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton rounding out the 10.
Going on to the race, Nico didn't set a foot wrong, did he?
No, he seemed to just drive away with it, sorry.
Yeah, he just got away cleanly. He did what he needed to do, which was clear Daniel Ricciardo at the start. Not that I think it would have taken him many laps to get down past him on that long straight.
Yeah.
Even without DRS, I think Daniel was a sitting duck. But yeah, so he did what he needed to do, and then he just controlled the race. He could sit back. He had the same problem that Hamilton had in the race, with the engine mode was set
incorrectly.
So we probably should touch quite quickly on this. That Mercedes, they have quite a few engine configure modes that they can cycle through on their steering wheel. Mm-hmm. Mercedes had set one of those modes incorrectly. When the boys went through and switched that mode on, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but wasn't doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing and was pulling.
Was this
power.
on both cars? Or?
Both cars.
Yep.
So both cars had that incorrect setting. Now, Rosberg started his car in the correct start setting, and that helped him get away. And then when he switched on to the other setting, which must be their race mode,
mm-hmm.
he felt the power and everything sort of drop off. So he went back to a different setting, and he fixed that up quite quickly.
Yep.
And it didn't really disturb his race too much.
Whereas Hamilton was in that broken mode.
Exactly. So Hamilton started the race in the wrong mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he'd started it, he noticed that he was down on power and there's something wrong with the car, and it was all over from there. He could not work out what was going on with his car. It was nothing that he had done wrong, but he couldn't work out how to fix the problem. And now the team were not allowed to tell him how to fix the problem, and it's become quite a well-touched news topic this week. And
Kimmy had the same issues.
Yeah, and frankly, I think it's... We've talked about this earlier today, actually. We talked about it. I think it's getting a little bit too much wind behind it. Disagree with the radio cut to... So they shouldn't be allowed... They should be allowed to find out these things from their crews, but I disagree with how it's all of a sudden become an issue because it happened to Hamilton. It's been happening for races to
this is not the first time it's happened. These rules have been in place for a while.
All sorts of other teams, but all of a sudden now it's happened to Hamilton.
Happens to the world champion, and
everyone's jumping up and down about it.
I mean, like I've said, I'm not a fan of the new rules. I think to tell the driver how to get into the right mode, or even like Kimmy was asking, is this the same incident as we had last time? He's like, yes or no. And the team's like, I'm sorry, Kimmy, I can't answer that. And he's like, surely you can say yes or no.
Yeah, it's got beyond a joke.
This is not... The drivers aren't asking for information like, where can I conserve power to make it up so I can overtake at this point here. The teams aren't going, saying, you need to conserve so you get turn 8, you can boost past them or something.
They're not saying to Kimmy, in turn 16, Vettel's braking 3 meters later than you. Please move your braking marker. No, they're not saying stuff like that. That stuff I definitely agree with. Leave that stuff up to the driver. Even sort of, you're spinning up the rear tyres too much. Leave that stuff to the drivers. That's their job. Knowing the ins and outs of the computer, how the computer works on the car, it's getting... The technology is so advanced, it's getting beyond a joke. Like, they're asking so much from these drivers just to remember on their sheer memory here. It will take time for them to do that. They've had a year and a half, I think, now of these regulations, and they're still... The car's changed, obviously, but they still need... I think the prompting should be fine there. I think it should be fine. I think it should be like the safety ones, that they're allowed to do for brake overheating and stuff like that. I think they should be allowed to do it. This is actually something I'd like everyone's input on as well. If you're out there and you're listening and you want to send us some feedback on that, what's your view on it? Do you think this is a good thing? Leave it all up to the drivers? Or do you think we should maybe be looking at a rule change here and bring back a little bit of the old rules? So it was a tough race from the Australian Daniel Ricciardo's point of view. Went from 3rd all the way back to 7th. He actually started second. He started second because Sergio had the gearbox penalty. So he started second and he ended up all the way back in 7th.
They did that extra stop. They couldn't make their tyres work, from what I believe.
Yeah, well, after watching the interview with him, he said he was struggling big time on his tyres after lap 3. That's how quickly he burnt up those rears.
51 laps?
And he was struggling after 3 laps on his quali tyres. Kimi Raikkonen still managed to bring it home 4th, even with his 5-second penalty.
Yep.
For, I don't know if you caught it, Michael, but he was slipstreaming Daniel, I think it was, at the time, and Daniel was pulling into the pits, and he managed to just clip the white line that leads into the pits and pull back out onto the straight sort of thing, and they gave him a 5-second penalty. It was nothing, and even the Sky F1 boys were like, come on, that is a harsh penalty. That's harsh. Sergio passed him on the last lap of the race to get 3rd. Sergio was going to get 3rd regardless because he was getting the 5-second penalty. I think it ended up making Kimi basically rolled over to him. There was no defence, nothing coming down the main straight. He just sort of let him
get on the podium.
Cruise up the inside. Well, he let him get there by merit instead of a penalty, giving it to Sergio. So
another thing to take away from this race was the Williams pit stop.
Wowee.
You could miss that if you... 1.92 seconds.
That
is amazing. Well done, guys.
They even made a wing adjustment.
But all the guys looked really happy. Like the crew dudes were slapping the wheel. Like they knew they did well.
They did an excellent job. So
I'll link the video in the show notes so you guys can check it out.
It's great. It's absolutely great.
So another race that happened over the weekend, just a little one. Have you heard of it?
No, I missed it when it was over in a flash.
Yeah, I think, what's it called? The Le Mans 24 Hour?
Yeah. We didn't actually get to catch any of that.
No,
As you can imagine,
I
we had a
saw
pretty
the
busy
safety
weekend.
car doing that big slide in the wet on the Friday.
Oh, yeah, in practice, that was pretty crazy.
That was huge.
Mark Webber thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see it. That's another one. I'll put the video in the show notes for it. But yeah, right at the end, Webber's like, yeah, all crossed up, like, yeah. But no, that was wet.
Porsche come away with another win and an unexpected win. 2 minutes from the end, you just got to put your heart out there for Toyota. That must hurt.
Yeah, and Elon Webber come out and said that, like, we're all feeling for Toyota. Like, that was a win in the bag. I think they were, I don't know how far, they were like a lap ahead or something. They were definitely going to win it.
No, it wasn't a couple laps. I think it was a better lap, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
unfortunately, it came to an end.
23 hours and 58 minutes, and then it all unravels. Hey, they're still on the podium.
Yeah.
They still did a great job. They got second, which is still a solid effort, but Toyota just
let that one slip.
They did, and it's unfortunate. Yeah. Anyway, don't want to dwell on it. Just chin up, boys, and give it a good go next year.
You got the Spa 24 Hour coming up a bit later in the year too. So we've got the Austrian Grand Prix coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the Red Bull Ring.
I
don't know, to be honest. Mercedes obviously pretty strong. Red Bull have got a little bit more straight line pace this year, so maybe they can go a bit better at their home race.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Mercedes 1, 2, and a Daniel Ricciardo maybe a third. But Ferrari seem to have found some pace, and they're looking after their tyres again. So
yeah, I think Sebastian Vettel's he's been very consistent now. He's really bringing it to them with their upgrades that they've done to it.
Well, they've found how to keep these tyre. You know how we were talking about a few race meetings ago about the keeping tyre pressures down and stuff like that. Yep. I think Ferrari are onto it now.
Stolen one of Mercedes' rims and duplicated it.
Yeah, it's not just the rims; it's those brake drums that deflect heat and stuff like that. So, competition time.
Yay!
We've got some stuff, some merchandise to give away from the Hidden Valley round. We just want to get a bit more involvement on our Facebook page. So, we're going to post up a photo of a poster we got signed. Well, Michael did quite a good effort, actually.
Almost got all the drivers.
Yeah, we won't say who we did.
I'm not saying.
We will not say who we did not get to sign this, because a part of the competition is
guessing who signed the poster.
Yeah, so you got to go through. We want to see how many people you can guess that are on the poster, and the highest number will win. And if there's a few of that get equal, we'll raffle one of those off, and you'll get yourself a Hidden Valley hat.
There's a couple of tricky ones on there. I'm not going to say who, but
don't worry. I was looking at them before, and I don't want to say how little I can get because it was a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, get involved, people. Give it a good hard crack. We really look forward to hear from you, and seeing what it's like, and seeing how many you can pick.
Now, the competition we're running.
And we are running the competition. We want you to like and share, and also tag a mate in our podcast share that I will share once this is edited.
So is that like the page or like the post?
Like the page.
Yep.
Share the post of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
publicly.
Comment. Yep, publicly, and comment in the comments a mate that you think will like our podcast.
And we'll go through and we'll select someone at random.
Yeah,
we'll allocate a number to everyone, go through a random number generator on the internet, go boom, what's our number? There we go. And we're willing to post this anywhere in the world.
Yep, if you're in Monaco, if you're in England and you want a bit of Australian motorsport memorabilia. It's a bit of history. This 2016 shirt's got our track map on it. It's quite a good looking shirt. So get involved, and we're happy to send this anywhere in the world. We don't care where you are. We will send it to you.
Yep.
And we've also got a hat to go away with that as well. So that'll be
first prize, shirt.
Yep. Second
runner
prize,
up, hat. You win a hat if you can name, or whoever can name the most drivers or people that have signed the poster.
All right. And once again, as always, send us any feedback you've got through to Facebook or through to our Gmail account, which is breakinglate@gmail.com. Yep, we're always looking forward to hearing from you and anything you want us to add in the up and coming shows.
So that's it. I think we're done.
I think we are, mate. Cheerio to everyone out there.
Cheerio to everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Catch ya.